Are you ready for a visual education on two different countries? Let's do this. So I'm not entirely sure I'm supposed to be out today. We're in lockdown for the weekend. Today is Saturday. And yeah, I don't think I'm supposed to be out. But here I am looking for an adventure. Don't tell anyone. So here in Panama, there are certain districts or provinces, if you may, that have kind of rolled back their quarantine phases based on the fact that the numbers are steadily rising again. So here in Boquete, they just locked down the entire weekend from Friday night to Monday morning. I am going to take the opportunity today to find something, anything, a river, a bridge, and utilize this time as well to tell you about where I'm from, Trinidad and Tobago, and how it compares to Panama. I also didn't realize when you're vlogging how heavy the camera might get after a couple minutes. I'm getting quite a shoulder workout here. So I also figured it's a good idea to wear the mask in the event I get pulled over, that I don't get pulled over for not having a mask on, right? Well, that was short-lived. I guess I can't go adventuring during the quarantine anyway. So, I'm back where I stay, and I'm going to give you my entire story from right here. So as you may or may not have seen in the last vlog, I am from Trinidad and Tobago, which is an island in the Caribbean. It's the last island in the Caribbean going south. It's so close to Venezuela that we can actually... Did I just say Venezuela? Venezuela. We can actually see Venezuela from Trinidad on a clear day. It's that close. In my lifetime, I've done things like surfing, I still surf, parkour or free running, cycling, triathlons, basketball, soccer / football. Always been very active in my life. Off-roading is actually one of my big passions as well, and not just mud bugging, but I actually like exploring a lot. So, and it's something that I'm hoping to be exposed to while I'm here in Panama. So to give a little bit about Trinidad, Trinidad is a very beautiful place. It is rich in culture, it is rich in festivity, it is rich in vegetation. We have very heavily forested areas that have been untouched, and we also have some pretty good city life, nightclubs. The people are very friendly, very warm, very open. One of our biggest claims to fame as a country is having one of the best carnivals you can ever attend or partake in globally. We are compared to Rio de Janeiro Carnival a lot when you talk about the best carnivals in the world. However, I feel they're very different in the way that you can participate. So in Brazil, you have a lot of big floats and people dancing and costumes and so on, but it's a tough process to actually get to be part of the parade. Whereas in Trinidad, you can land here days before, and if you're lucky enough, go pick up a costume and you can be on the road on the Monday and the Tuesday reveling with everybody else, and it's a fantastic experience. I would say it's one of those bucket list things to do and experience at least once in your life. Carnival aside, we have a lot to explore. We have a lot of eco-adventure things. We have a lot of high-octane things like drifting and drag racing. We have a lot of activities. We also have a lot of, like I said before, eco-adventure. So we have a lot of waterfalls, a lot of trails. But when you really want to do beaches, I would recommend going to the sister isle, the smaller of the two islands called Tobago. And that place has white sand, blue water, coral reefs, prettiest fish you've ever seen in your life. It's a gorgeous place to actually go scuba diving. You also have a lot of untouched places in Tobago as well, with big waterfalls and so on. So it's sort of like a more laid-back version, not as commerce-heavy place. There's a place there called Island Pool where you can actually just walk out into the water and you're standing on sand and probably, depending on the tide, inches of water, and it's just an expanse of ocean around you. It's a beautiful place. Culturally, we have very many different ethnicities. Because of that, we have this melting pot of cultures coming together and a lot of experimentation between the different cultures when it comes to food, when it comes to activities. It's quite the diverse place. Even though Trinidad is so small, it's a tiny little island, there is a lot to be seen and experienced there. So, how does that compare to Panama? In way more ways than I even realized until I got here. The first thing that surprised me before the wheels even touched the runway is how developed Panama is. I had no idea. I don't know if I did not do enough research before I came here the first time, which was last year in January. Skyscrapers, I mean, city life, bustling. It's almost like a New York setting, but in Central America. They've also coined it the Miami of the Central Americas. That one new city that they have is quite expansive, and that's not something that I have seen featured about Panama. Things that I would have seen are things like ecotourism. I would have seen the Panama Canal, the very famous Panama Canal. I would have known a little bit about their history and how that became a thing. But my God, this place has so much more to offer. Upon landing, I was taken through the new city, and then I was also taken to the old city called Casco Viejo. It is this very cozy little city full of historical buildings of centuries past. It was the city before the new city that's up now, that's very developed. And they have cozy little cafes, very nice restaurants, very classy stuff, nice hotels. Then I was taken from this very active place to the forests of the Embera Tribe, where we got to interact and sing and dance and eat with the tribe's people, the original people from Panama. And that was such a contrast to what I had landed in, and I realized that Panama has a lot to offer, depending on who you are, depending on the things that you like. I think there's a little bit of everything for everyone, whether it's your lifestyle be a very metropolitan city lifestyle or something that's laid back on the beach. You can get some nice apartments on the beach and just be chill, and it feels very removed from everything else, but really and truly you're like 30 minutes away from the city. The other thing I didn't realize is how festive Panamanians are. They find an excuse to celebrate everything. They have a lot of holidays, they like their alcohol, they are very fun-loving people. I don't know if this is starting to sound familiar to the Trinidadian viewers here, but you can see the similarities. Oh look, I've got a pet. Hello. Yeah, I'll leave him there. I was able to witness the festival of the Mil Polleras, which is something like a carnival, but not really. There's a parade through the streets that involves women donned in the traditional Panamanian dresses and dancing and singing, and then the men are right there with them in their traditional wear. There's lots of headpieces, floats, jewelry made by the people of Panama, and this thing goes from sun up to sundown. But then there's also the carnival in Panama, which is not as elaborate, or the costumes are not as abundant as Trinidadian carnival, but it is still a 4-day party. There's fireworks, there are water trucks, there's partying from sun up to sundown for 4 days straight. Again, Trinidadians, you're hearing this, right? When I came to Panama the second time, I was able to go to a very dear place to me called Playa Venao. Now, I did say I'm a surfer. In my humble opinion, it's one of the best surf spots in Panama. But then there is no lack of great surf spots. There are places like Bocas del Toro, there are places like Santa Catalina, both on the Caribbean side and on the Pacific side. But for some reason, Playa Venao, which I call the wave magnet, I think I've gone there randomly 3 times, and every single time, even though there was no swell, there had been pretty good rideable waves, and I'm using the word rideable loosely there. Really good waves. And I am doing a specific Playa Venao vlog episode, which is coming up once the sanitary fences between the provinces have been lifted. So stay tuned and subscribe if you want to see that coming up. So shout out to my people down there: Agus, Fufo, Ramon, Richie, Liliana, Yvonne, all of you. I'm coming to do an episode purely on Playa Venao soon, so look out for that. And then there's Boquete. My word, this place is like Narnia, according to Jordan from the Nomadic team. The first time I came to this place, which is 45 minutes out of the last main city you can get to before the border of Panama and Costa Rica, on that 45-minute drive, I just saw these huge mountains ahead of me, and I was told that it is a volcano, or it was a volcano, and it just may still be active. But the name of it is Volcan Baru, and it is huge. So on that 45-minute drive, in addition to the volcano, I saw this huge welcoming rainbow. Ironically, the rainbow was just over the Welcome to Boquete sign. I don't know if they strategically put the sign there because of it. But that rainbow lasted for about 30 minutes, and the following day, it was there for 30 minutes again. And the following morning, there was another rainbow on the other side of the city. It is quite the serene place. It is scenic, it is tranquil. It's one of those places that is populated by a lot of American retirees here to really get what life really has to offer in a natural sense. And I have to agree, this place is amazing. There's a jazz festival, there's a flower and coffee festival. Oh, did I mention this is home to some of the best coffee in the world? And I mean the best tasting, probably the most expensive coffee in the world. They've won competitions here for what they produce, and I personally am not a coffee person. I've grown to appreciate the following that coffee has and the different levels of processing and the different byproducts you can get from it. So it is really something to see and experience. If you're into coffee, this is the place you want to come to. So in essence, this just scratches the surface of what Panama has to offer, because I still have to see the San Blas Islands, which is apparently Tobago on steroids, which means 365 islands of white sand beaches and coral reef and so on, crystal clear water, and just the picture perfect postcard of what paradise is. That's what San Blas is. I have to still go to Bocas del Toro. I heard the surfing there is really good, and it's just on a completely different scene altogether. So, best place on the world. Is it Panama? Is it Trinidad? Who knows? What I know is that immediately as I came here, I felt right at home. It is extremely similar to Trinidad, but on a way bigger scale. Trinidad is this small, Panama is this big, but the warmth and the friendliness and the festive nature of the people and how fun-loving they are, it is just a change of language as far as I'm concerned. The language aside, I feel like the two cultures are almost interchangeable. Initially, I was pretty worried about being stuck here, but now that I have been, I can safely say this has been one of my better experiences in life and continues to be. So, Panama or Trinidad, do both. Thanks guys, and I will see you in the next vlog. Thank you for all the support. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.